Hi, this is Misha. This video is an update to an earlier one we did on the Colt LE6920HBPW, which stands for Heavy Barrel Pinned and Welded. I'm not going to go too much into detail because we have a very in-depth video. Also, comparing this to the FN M4 Collector series. But in a nutshell, what we have is an original SOCOM style upper, meaning it's a 14.5 inch barrel, heavy profile under the handguards. It even has the flats for the 203 launcher under here to correspond to the cutout up here. Standard marked receiver, C-marked carrier, so on and so forth. What Colt did to make this legal, they took an extended A2 flash hider and pinned it on. It's still on 1/2 by 28 threads, so a person could easily convert this into an SBR or get a qualified gunsmith to replace it with, say, a Surefire or prong flash hider if they want, and then pin that on. So you have options. They didn't just stick it on an unthreaded barrel, because this really does seem to be a true M4A1 military, or if you want to call it a Colt 921 HB type upper, because it has the side sling mount, which they haven't used on their civilian police guns in several years now. It still has the bayonet lug, chrome lined, MP tested, the usual Colt stuff. It's on a standard M4 Carbine Colt's Defense marked lower. And if you notice, it looked a little different in my first video. That I showed the gun just as it was right out of the box. And I also showed the FN M4 Collector series. I was debating at that time which I would keep as my M4A1. I ultimately have decided to go with the Colt, so that's why I've started modifying it. I've added a Knight's Armament M4 rail system with covers and the broom handle grip. Very simple and basic. I know this is an antiquated rail system by 2018 standards, but I like it. I've put on just a generic, just that same old primary arms. It's been making the rounds on all kinds of guns of mine for years now. I've got an MATech flip milspec rear sight. I like these. I have them on several guns. Put on a B5 SOPMOD style stock. I like this stock a lot. It gives a very nice cheek rest. It also has a rubber recoil pad, which is good in the summer when you're sweaty and things like to try to slip away. Inside here, I replaced the original H buffer, which was working fine, with an H2, mostly because I had a spare H2 laying around, and according to Chris Bartacci, this barrel system works best with an H2, so why not? And another small change I made, I added the ambidextrous safety, as seen on the FN49. This is the same safety that Colt ships on its LE6920 SOCOMs, as well as some of its AR-15A4s. So I've made it mine and kind of made it into a M4A1 clone to a reasonable extent. The reason I decided to keep this over the FN, as I said in video 1, has better finish. Looks a little sharper, but this is more of a military gun. And the proof was in the shooting. Taking it to the range, this gun just ended up being a little smoother. Let me drop my mag. Little nicer trigger, even though it's still very much a military trigger, and it had less of that spring that some ARs get. The FN had a little bit of spring to the thing, nothing bad, not like some I've had. My dad had an Olympic once years ago that was just, oh my goodness, it would give you a headache from the springing, but it felt a little better to shoot. And since these are a little cheaper than the FNs, I decided it was time for the FN to find a home with a true collector, because that's what it's meant for, as a collector, and I'm more of a shooter. This gun here isn't a show pony, it's a warhorse, as the old saying goes about Colt. And since they only have built 300 of these, and it seems like they are discontinued in 2018, who knows, it might be collectible one day, it might not, but either way, it's a gun we enjoyed shooting, and we'll probably continue to shoot more than the FN. And so that's why I have decided to keep the 6920 HBPW over the M4 Military Collector Series. So we said we'd do an update as far as shooting. I think it goes without saying, 100% reliability, bolt held back every time, brass and steel cased ammo, absolutely no problems, great shooter, everything you'd expect from a Colt. I know their finish can be a little hit or miss, but their reliability is almost always top notch. If you are also interested in Colts as we are, please click on the playlist and check out some of our other videos. We have a number of them on Colt carbines and rifles from both the 60s through the 80s and through today. And if you have any comments or questions, we welcome them below. We'll do our best to reply. If you like the video, please click like. And if you'd like to help support us, please click on the link and check out our Patreon page. This is Misha, and we'll catch you next time.